Let us pray together as we join our minds and our hearts to sit and rest in the peaceful presence and remember whose and who we are, divine, individualized expressions of the One, unique with special gifts to share in love, in faith, and in trust with one another. As I stand here, I affirm that we are one, that we are fully love, and that we will glean what is needed today in this moment from Lucinda's words on joy and faith, so that we can love and support each other in our next highest yet to be, with a peacefulness, with a joyfulness, and with a faithfulness that all is well, and we are exactly where we need to be. I give thanks with great gratitude for the divine presence, the inner companion that guides, guards, and protects. I know my words have power, and a prayer spoken is a prayer answered. And it is unfolding right now. I call it done. It is done. And together we say, so it is. Amen.
Good morning and welcome. And good morning in the Zoom room. If you are new with us here this morning, my name is Lucinda Alton, and I am a certified prayer practitioner here at Mystic Hearts Spiritual Center. We are an interfaith community that teaches universal principles and practical spirituality. We welcome you to home to the guidance and wisdom of your own mystic heart. And I guess we're going to start singing our morning songs.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. Still my mind, be at peace in my awakening. I release with my heart, free my soul. In my awakening, I am whole. Om Shanti, Om choose to live. Give me strength. Shine your light in my awakening. Be with me tonight. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. All I believe and all I know, in my awakening I let go. Fill me with hope, conquer my fear. In my awakening, my peace is here. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Beginning our time together by going into our center. Take a deep breath in. And slowly release it as we let go of everything that has come before this moment. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Allowing love to fill you to overflowing. And see it radiating out from you into the world. See the connection from you to each one you send love to. Allowing yourself to be a conduit for the love to flow outward to the room, to the community, further out through the state, through the country, through the world. Seeing your connection to each one the love touches, and seeing their connection to you. Allow the love to continue to flow through you as it spreads even further to all beings. And feel the love that returns to you Feel the flow of the love that flows through the mind of God. Always there. And always including each of us when we open to it. Our theme for the month of December is, what are we waiting for? And this morning we are contemplating moving forward with joy and faith. Dennis Waitley says, don't dwell on what went wrong. Instead, focus on what to do next. Spend your energies on moving forward toward finding the answer. Sometimes something happens that is so shocking or so unpleasant to us that we are caught by surprise. And we can too easily get caught up in fear or in the drama of what has happened. What kind of response could we choose? We can choose to breathe. Take a long, deep breath in and let it out slowly. We can take a breath in, inhaling love or peace or joy or all of the above, and send joy and love outwards as we exhale. The more we align with love, the less space there is within us for fear and anger. We can choose to look around the world and find the things that we are grateful for. What are you grateful for this morning? Starting the day with gratitude sets a great tone for the rest of the day. We can spend some time in nature. Remember, no matter what happens day to day, the sun is going to rise in the morning and it's going to set in the evening. We can develop a practice of living in the now.
If you haven't done so, please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and slowly release it. Feel yourself relaxing. Allow the chair to take your weight. Feel your scalp relaxing, your face, your ears, your jaw, and your shoulders. Now feel your arms relaxing as you continue to allow the chair to support you. Your back relaxes as you allow the tension to leave your body. And you bring yourself into this perfect moment. Now let yourself become aware of what your body is feeling right now. Are you feeling warm? Are you feeling cool? Is the air at all moving around you? What can you smell? What can you hear? Now take a few moments and explore what your body is experiencing. Remember this feeling as you begin to bring your awareness back into this room.
Eckhart Tolle suggests, ask yourself, am I still breathing? Tolle says in his video, you suddenly feel the air flowing into your body and out of your body. At that moment, you've entered the state of presence. Even if it's only 5 seconds. Another exercise Tolle suggests involves using all of your senses when going through habitual, everyday motions, such as washing your hands. This is just taking a moment to step into awareness. Do it consciously, Tully instructs. For example, when you wash your hands, feel the water, smell the soap. Becoming acutely conscious of sense perception means looking, hearing, touching. It brings you into the present moment. These are exercises that may take a little bit of effort in the beginning, but Tully says that they do end up becoming second nature. Finding these little ways to just stop and say, I'm in the now. The more you bring those moments of presence into your life, the more your old conditioning becomes eroded gradually. It is important to remember that you are the only person who can choose how you respond to what's happening in the moment. Remember, we can't control what they're doing out there, but we can control how we choose to respond to it. And it's equally important to remember to have faith in an outcome that is in the highest and greatest interest of all concerned. But what is faith? According to the Bible, Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. In other words, faith is trusting in something you cannot see, but you know to be true. St. Augustine said, faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. Having faith that something is true is a choice that we make.
When fear starts to steal my joy, when fear wants me to lose faith, when fear starts to make me weak, I trust in you and it changes everything. Faith over fear, that's how I'm living now, 'cause I know in time you will work all things out and say, don't be afraid, just have faith. Oh, 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 oh. And I know that faith is still moving mountains, and yes, I believe, making beauty from ashes, and say, don't be afraid, just have faith. When fear causes me to doubt you, when fear starts to make me run, when fear tries to control me, I trust in you and it changes everything. Oh, I trust in you and it changes everything. Faith over fear, that's how I'm living now, 'cause I know in time you will work all things out and say, don't be afraid, just have faith. Oh, 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 oh. And I know that faith is still moving mountains. have faith. Just have faith. Oh, faith or fear. So when fear comes knocking on my door, I won't be answering anymore. Faith over fear. That's how I'm living now. I know in time you will work all things out for me. Don't be afraid. Just have faith. And I know that faith is still moving mountains. Yes, I believe you make a beauty from ashes to ash. Don't be afraid, just have faith. So I won't be afraid, I'll just have faith.
So let's take a couple of minutes right now and think about the areas in our lives where we have faith and where allowing faith in and letting the fear go would be useful to us. Please let my words speak for you. Knowing that I am, and each one here is a perfect manifestation of the one source. I also know that everything that happens in the mind of the one. In this moment, I allow myself to open to the love and the joy that fills this space. Feel the peace that surrounds me. I am grateful that even when outward appearances in the world are not what I would choose, I know that everything that is happening is in the highest and greatest concern, greatest interest of all concerned. I am deeply grateful for this ongoing and interesting experience that is my life. I am grateful for my spiritual family and the wonderful holiday experience that we're all having. And I am deeply grateful for this place, our home. And I look forward to experiencing the love and the peace that is ours in the coming year. Speaking my words into law and knowing that it is done, I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, and so it is. Amen. I invite you to come back into awareness of your body. Notice the atmosphere in the room. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and allow your gaze to take in whatever is before you. Total beauty for those here in the front. As we close our Taizé meditation, we offer the opportunity for you to share your financial good in support of the work that we do in the world. If you're joining us online, you can find a donate button and our mailing address at mysticheart.org. We thank you in advance for your gifts. We acknowledge and give thanks for the infinite abundance of spirit.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. 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 La luce di Dio. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. La luz de Dios. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the
I think I've just set one of my New Year's resolutions. Is that each time I look into a face, whether it be human or non-human, I will remember that I'm looking into the face of God in all of its beautiful randomness. Standing right here and right now, I just say thank you for all of the gifts that have been given to us. Thank you for each and every one who has participated in making our new home a reality. Thank you for each one who has participated in making it feel like a home with this joy and love and laughter that each one brought to the project. Thank you for the time, the talent, and the energy, and more than that, thank you for the gifts that you give that enable us to continue to be here, that enable us to be able to go out into the world in service to others and in service to Mystic Heart. Thank you for everything. And so it is. Amen. Satu, Aho, Ashe. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee or something warm in the coffee room and meet us back for conscious conversation. And if you're leaving, thank you for being here. We bless you on your way with a song and with much love.
May your soul always find what it's looking for. May your heart always lead the way. May you live in peace and harmony. And may love always fill your day. May your path be strewn with happiness. May success find you everywhere. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayer. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayer. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.
We're back. coffee and all ready to have a conscious conversation. We come together with our minds and hearts joined, allowing us to see the face of God in everyone in this room and know that we are one in spirit. We come from the absolute and we return to the absolute. But while we're here to love and share our gifts that we came with. Well, I appreciate everybody's willingness to be here to share your wisdom from your experiences and from your soul's journey. I offer this prayer in gratitude with deep thanksgiving for all the love that is in this room right now and all the willingness. I release this prayer into the law of love and the creative process, knowing as I speak these words, it is already being done right here, right now, and I call it done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Welcome or welcome back, and welcome to those joining online. Good morning, Reverend Diana. If you're new with us here this morning, my name is Lucinda Alton, and I am a prayer practitioner here at Mystic Heart. We are an independent interfaith community that teaches universal principles and practical spirituality. We open our doors and welcome, trusting that you will be led to the guidance and wisdom of your own mystic heart. So let's start our morning with some music.
Hot chocolate will help. Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice and sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family. Loving hearts to share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer.
What's possible?
And everything's possible through prayer.
Welcome to the Mystic Heart.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody's feet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot, we got another one. I forgot. Been doing so much music this week for Wednesday.
I may leave.
And I let go, I let my spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm
Let's join together for a journey into the imaginal realm as we contemplate a love-soaked world. See and feel with me a world where all beings treat each other with kindness and generosity. A world where we live in peace with each other. We have outgrown war and separation. A world where we have outgrown the need for violence and war. A world where you and a neighbor or relative can disagree with each other and not only settle things peacefully, but still love each other. A world where anyone can safely go for a walk to admire the stars. Where everyone is supported living in the home of their choice, no matter how different that might seem to other people. Envision a world where social systems are grounded in integrity and support each person in living exactly as they choose. A world where each person is valued as the unique individual that they are. A world loving relationships are the norm, and where each person is free to love as they choose. Feel the loving connection to each other and to Mother Earth. We support her, and she supports us. Imagine a world where you can step outside and smell pure, fresh air, no matter where you are. Where the world and water are safe and healthy, no matter where you live. Where every entity is valued and thanked for their service. See a world where abundance is the norm in health, relationships, finances. Stand with me in this imaginal world and feel the peace and joy that surround us. We can begin to bring this world forth with our words and actions right now. With deep joy and gratitude, I turn this over to God, the one who gets it done, and so it is. Amen. That just feels better every single time. Our theme for this month is What Are You Waiting For? And today we are contemplating moving forward with joy and faith. Earlier this morning we spoke about making choices. We talked about ways of making choices and not letting fear make our choices for us. We talked about the importance of faith. We can often allow ourselves to get caught up in the life where we make choices without really thinking about what we are choosing. I'm going to read a little for you from a book that I found by Lila Hart. It's called Embracing Whimsy for a Positive Mindset. She had been living a life of meetings and deadlines and obligations to many, many people, things that she'd created for herself. And then she went to this coffee shop and she's sitting there having a cup of coffee. As I sipped my coffee, I noticed a group of children outside the window. They were playing in the rain. Their laughter was infectious, and they were dancing around without a care in the world. I watched them for several minutes, mesmerized by their carefree joy. They were soaked to the bone, but they didn't seem to mind. They were living in the moment, fully immersed in their joy, free from any judgment or expectation. I realized as I watched them that I had forgotten how to do that. I had forgotten how to simply be. I had forgotten how to experience life with wonder, to let go of the need for control, and to embrace the magic of spontaneity. I think we've already covered the need for control is kind of a pseudo thing anyhow, but we hear a lot about keeping things simple and to remember to breathe. Has there been a time when you suddenly realized that you'd forgotten to breathe?
Yes.
How did that feel?
Constricting.
Scary? Yeah.
Constricting. Constricting.
Constricting. Absolutely.
I once ran out of breath trying to blow out birthday candles before they were all blown out. That was like, uh-oh, I should have taken a bigger, deeper breath to start with. Oh, it was a lesson.
Yeah. What kind of decisions do you think we make when we're feeling like this?
Bad ones.
Bad
Because we're not
ones?
thinking first. Because if you don't breathe, you don't think.
That's right. Lila also speaks about getting into routines. To apologize, my tablet reset itself. There it is. We often take comfort in our routines from the moment we wake up. Our brains are programmed to follow a set sequences of actions that have been reinforced over time. You get up, you look out the window, or sometimes, I hate to admit this, but I check the weather app to see what the weather's like outside. Because my blinds are closed, it's easier to just look at my phone. Then I go get my cup of coffee. The same commute, the same everything. Has anyone ever stopped and thought a moment about, this is what I do?
Oh, yeah.
If I don't have coffee in the morning, everything's thrown off, or if my phone needs to be charged and you're not going to tell me what it's like outside. These routines offer stability and structure, creating a sense of order and predictability in an often chaotic world. But while routines serve the purpose of providing comfort, they can also become invisible prisons, confining us to patterns that no longer challenge us or stimulate growth. The truth is that many of us are on autopilot for much of the day. We follow the same rituals, making the same decisions without ever questioning whether they're serving us or simply keeping us stuck. Some routines nurture our well-being, like morning exercise or journaling session, while others, like checking emails first in the morning or watching the same shows every evening, may drain us of creative energy. These habitual actions, while familiar, can become limiting, keeping us in the same mental and emotional space day after day. Think about the routines that you follow without even thinking. Do you mindlessly scroll through your phone in the morning? Do you follow the same exact path to work, passing the same buildings and trees, never noticing anything new? Do you always sit in the same seat at meetings, or always choose the same meal while eating out? While there's nothing inherently wrong with these actions, it's important to pursue and ask whether they're serving your growth or simply maintaining the status quo. And I have to ask here, am I the only one who's ever walked into a meeting and someone is sitting in my chair?
Yeah, that's right. And you want them out.
That's right. But my name's not on that chair, so I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while I mix it up for myself. I deliberately choose a different chair. I deliberately choose a different path. Have you ever had someone tell you that you agreed to something and you realized that you had not been paying attention, and that if you had been paying attention, that you agreed to something without thinking about what else might be impacted by your decision? Or maybe if you had been thinking about it, you would have chosen something else?
I think that's one of the problems of habitual patterning, where we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be in the present moment because of this autopilot. So we don't make choices that are a little more creative and more responsive.
Yeah.
That's a good example. This morning I set to get here a little earlier than usual, and it was nice because I was able to keep the speed down and look out and see all the puddles that had shown up that weren't there these past days. So I actually was pleased that I was able to manage my time, to give myself a little more time to view. Because it's a wonderful area that we live in many ways, and we need to see the beauty where it's available. Because it may not be there tomorrow. I'm talking about the puddles and such, all the little rivulets that I noticed that usually aren't there. It's kind of fun.
April?
I think being present is kind of a choice, but some people are naturally just more present than others. Some people are just kind of programmed to be in their own head. But you definitely know when you're talking to someone who is present, and when you're talking to someone who's thinking about a whole other things, or actually wants you to stop talking so they can go do something else, right?
Sure.
And, you know, I am so easily bored. I really am. And I'll say all the time, like, this is so boring. But there is our adult responsibilities, our things we must get done. We must go to work if we want to pay the bills and those things. But, you know, we have two sides at work. And our side, we go all different places every single day. It's never the same, our route. And then you have the other drivers who just drive a loop all day long, the same loop, right? And I'm on the safety committee, and more distracted driving cameras go off in the loop drivers than they do in the everyday door-to-door drivers. And you see them, we call it mental distracted driving, where you are gone. And because you are on the same exact routine, you can be less present, and they do, and they just drift off, and they're just driving, and the next thing you know, something happens they weren't ready for, and it sets the camera off. And
It stops.
yeah, yeah, they blow the stops, and then we gotta go rescue that person and take him. And it's just like we try to come up with these new safety routines, like what can we do to break that up for them? And it's really hard because if you do the exact same thing over and over again, muscle memory and just zombie driving takes
Yeah.
over. And it's very hard if you just stick to your routine to be present. It's very easy to be mentally distracted.
It is.
I actually learned that when I was living in Santa Cruz for years and years and years, and I knew every little way to get whatever. We moved to another town. My God, you know, you didn't realize how much you were on autopilot when you're in a new town. You can't be on autopilot. You have no idea where anything is, and you have to create, again, new and different patterns for that community. And I noticed it again in Houston, and I noticed it, you know, you're more awake when you're in an unfamiliar environment.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I noticed that big time when I was traveling around for a year in my van, because I was pretty much always in a different place. And it really kept me in the now, because I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea where I was going to park for the night. I had no idea where I was going to go to the bathroom. I mean, literally, I really had to be in the now constantly in order to conduct my life on a day-to-day basis. It was great.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
much more. You actually
Oh,
see
you
much
bet.
more.
Yeah.
I have another driver buddy. We hunt and fish together, and we're very earth-present people. And he'll text me at 5 in the morning, wait till you see the sun or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not even having bed. But one morning I was walking out in the yard, and I said to one of the other drivers, I said, wow, look at the sunrise. And she goes, oh, I've never noticed it before. It's here every morning. And so are we. But if
Yeah.
you don't take the time to look, you won't see. And if your head's always down, you're gonna miss so much of the world experience, you know?
Mm-hmm. Kathy?
You know, that's like out where we live, we've got a big nature trail that goes all the way around the park. And there are people that walk that nature trail every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you would be surprised how many of them don't realize that we have fox out there, we have turtles out there, we have coyotes out there, you name it. We even have a bear that lives out there. But if you're not paying attention to where you're going, you don't see those things, you know? And it's funny because even Sophie, God bless her heart, she don't see or hear much anymore. But like, I took her down the trail about a week ago and it had not been raining for a while, so I wouldn't sink in the mud, but I took her down there, and the big tortoise that lives in the big lake, he's probably this big. But he goes underneath this one tree every winter, and I think he kind of hibernates there. Well, he was out of the dirt, and he was just sitting there, and all his limbs were in his shell. Sophie goes up and sniffs him, and all of a sudden, all the appendages pop out, scared the bejeebers out of her. She jumped about a foot in the air and looked at me like, Mom, that rock's alive. You know? But it's true, because I mean, these same people that I've lived around for 13 years now don't see the stuff that's down there because they don't take the time to look.
Yeah.
And there is so much beauty on that nature trail. I can go down there every day and see something different.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of missed opportunities, not just in nature, but with people.
Yes.
If we see them habitually how we think they are, we have stifled them in our mind about what they can do and what they can be, and so we take a lot of people for granted. We make assumptions when we're always in habitual thinking or
Yeah.
patterns.
Yeah. And I have to admit that I've been one of the drivers that April's talking about. I reach my destination and I come, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got all the way here and I don't remember the drive. And that's really, really scary.
I did that as a teenager, but I was usually intoxicated.
You know,
It's true.
Glad you're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, me too.
April?
if something unexpected happens right then and there, you'll wake up real fast. But and they say most accidents take place within 3 miles of your home because you're already mentally home, you're already in the house, and you drop your guard. But you know, sometimes, me and Wiley were hiking in the middle of nowhere. We're crazy people. That's what we do, right? And I was looking down at my phone on the trail because I was looking at the hunting app and I wanted to see the boundary lines. How far did I have to get before I could hunt that area? And I wasn't being present. I was looking at landlines, and she goes, "What is that?" Because she's very present. We ended up getting rushed by a wolf. And I became extremely present, extremely fast, right? And had I have just had my head down and continued walking, and she wouldn't have been with me and spotted it, I would have walked right into the area where it could have gotten to me because it was held back by land. The terrain stopped it from catching up to us. But had we continued forward and both of us being oblivious, we probably would have been in a whole different situation. So sometimes it doesn't do to not be present. You know, you never know.
That's
but
true.
We drop our guards, and we just drift off into our heads sometimes, and it takes something big to kind of get you to focus, and you realize how much you weren't focused before that car pulled out on the red light, or that person stepped into the crosswalk when the light was not green for them, or whatever it is. You become extremely present very fast.
And hopefully, everything's okay in spite of the fact that your reactions are slowed by a few milliseconds.
Yeah.
Because when you're driving, those milliseconds can count.
That's for sure. I come down from Shingletown, and it's like 20 miles worth of a 2-lane road that is often other drivers, they're so familiar with the road, not only do they go faster than they should, but they think, I'll get away with this if I cross the double line and pass these cars in front of me, even though there's a curve ahead. And I've had a couple of experiences where suddenly there's a car in my lane, and it's a good thing I wasn't looking down or something, because it would have been a head-on.
Yeah.
Keeps me sharp.
Yeah, we get behind the wheels of these humongous, very heavy pieces of machinery, and we take a lot for granted. We talked about the importance of being present when we're making our choices, but equally important is having faith in our choices, that they will work for us. In his book, The Power of Words, Words Are Free, it's how you use them that may cost you. Reverend J. Martin says, your words are like seeds. Seeds can turn into something real. And I read the whole title because I think that speaks to me as well. How do you think this applies to the choices that you make? You make a choice. Do we always have faith in the choices that we've made?
Sometimes, but there's times it's not.
What causes that lack of faith, I wonder?
What do you guys think? What causes that lack of faith? April?
I think that we make our choices based on a lot of different factors, but one of them is how well we know and understand ourselves, how much we trust ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if by some circumstances in your life you have made decisions and then have said, oh, I've made terrible decisions, when you manifest that on yourself, like I make bad decisions, or you just have made decisions that didn't turn out well, and you stayed in that you started to not trust yourself so much. And then when it comes time to make an important decision, there is time to think and contemplate and take in all the factors. But if you're afraid to make the decision because you think you might make the wrong one, and I think that that's the root of some sort of fear and lack of confidence in yourself, no trust, that you need to heal and address so that you can stand confidently in those spaces. Making decisions, I don't think there's ever a right one. I think there's a best one in some situations, but I don't really think that any decision is 100% right or wrong.
You know, there's a place for fear, but you can't live in it. It can squash faith if you entertain too much fear.
True.
What about the idea that when things are difficult, you have an idea and you have faith? Can you have the faith to stick through, the endurance and the patience to see your decision all the way through?
And remember that this too shall pass.
That's one of my favorite sayings, this too shall pass.
Yep.
And you can do that decision, but part of it is having faith that it will work out in spite of the appearances in the world. It will work out. Has anyone had an experience like that where they made this decision, they were sure it was right for them, but when circumstances started making it look maybe a little bit wonky, were you able to have faith in the choice that you've made and continue along that?
I think sometimes we don't always have faith in the decision we made too, because we made it in a hurry, or we made it in the heat of the moment instead of thinking it through. And then, we get a little ways down the road with the decision we made, we're going, what the hell did we do? Because when you're in the heat of the moment, sometimes, just the frustration, the anger, whatever it is, takes over, and you make a decision based on that, which is not usually the wisest decision.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we get do-overs?
April.
That's like what I was
You
gonna
have
say.
to keep getting it wrong, you do.
Well, I think also too, that's why I don't think the way I think about decisions, but I think we make decisions also based on who we are at the time, the situation or understanding, and that there is room in that for growth and grace, and to say, I made that decision, it was the best decision I could make at the time, who I was. Now I am at a different place in my life, and I'm going to make a different decision. And have that room to be adjustable and pliable, and
Right.
say, you know what, I'm going to do something different now. Maybe I really wanted to be a biologist, and now I've decided I like, doing this for a living. Go do that. But there's change.
I don't want to study the actual chemistry that goes into it.
Building on that, what you just said, the flexibility to make a different choice, that's forgiving yourself, allowing yourself forgiveness so that there's room to make this different alternative choice going forward, because you've learned more about yourself and you're in a different space now to make other decisions. But sometimes we haven't forgiven ourselves, so we don't make a different choice, I think. I'm wondering if that's part of what happens to us.
I think one of the best things I ever learned in my life, and I've learned a lot, of course, is that I can make a new choice. I think, or in my past, because I can't talk for everybody, but in my past, I didn't think I could change or make new choices. I mean, I'd made a choice, okay, I'm going to stick to it for life, like being in a marriage that's not working. Well, I married him, I'm staying. Well, guess what? That doesn't always work. But when I found out that every choice is in the moment, and then I can choose again, that gave me more freedom than I ever had in my whole life. Because now I know I can make a different choice.
Very true. Mark?
Yeah, the feeling, I used to be very burdened by a sense of perfectionism. I've got to do things perfectly, and I've learned in my older age that I can set these goals for myself, time or performance, And the real world will come in and say, hey, Mark, it's time that you adjust your expectations. And when I open my mind for that, I see, oh yeah, there's another way to do this that is much more serviceable for me and doesn't give me so much, self-criticism. I can get the same thing done. It may not be perfect, but it's still acceptable, and that's all I care about now is to be able to adjust my goals.
Have you guys ever, being in the now, taken a look at all the different opportunities that we have for making decisions and how it's okay for us to make new decisions if we made a bad one? It might be as simple as, I'm gonna have a peanut butter and jam sandwich, and there's no jam. I might gotta throw the whole thing out. I mean, okay, that might be a silly one, but we always have choices. And the other side of that is, if we don't make those choices, somebody else is gonna make them for us, because we're allowing them to be that way.
I think that speaks to the idea of giving over your power to somebody else or something else.
Yes. Okay, so maybe that's number 2 for me, a resolution. My first resolution, I realized this morning, is going to be, when I look at each person, I'm going to say, I see the face of God. So my second one will be, I'm going to stay in the now. I'm going to look at what choices are available to us, and I will make an informed decision instead of a decision based on not paying attention. That's it. Michael?
Last year, around this time, a very interesting thing was brought up. That is, instead of saying, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution, how about a New Year's intention?
Mm.
You feel the difference?
I stand corrected.
No, I'm not.
No, you're right. You're
trying
right.
to-
I'm setting an intention.
Yeah, I think an intention is much more of a spiritual thought, if you will. A resolution is, oh boy, this is the way it's going to be, period.
And if you
It's
don't
sort of
do
an
it, you're a
authoritarian
failure.
kind of a thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And intention
is
puts my
much
power behind it.
more forgiving, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rick Hansen states, without faith in the world and in yourself, life feels shaky and scary. Faith grounds you in what's reliable and supportive. It's the antidote to doubt and fear. It strengthens you and supports you in weathering hard times. It helps you to stay on your chosen path. With confidence, they will lead to good places. Faith fuels the hope and optimism that encourage the actions that lead to the results that confirm your faith in a lovely positive cycle. Faith lifts your eyes to the far horizons, toward what's sacred, even divine. And I have to say, and I think I've spoken about it before, I had an experience last summer where we were moving to Reading and we had chosen a house, but then things started coming up and I started thinking, maybe we should look for something else. But the house just felt so right. So I think it was during one of Reverend Diana's talks I was reminded that faith can move mountains. And so we stayed the course and we got the house. But I felt those moments of doubt and fear that things just weren't going to work out. There was too much going on. and I had to remind myself to have faith. Has that been true for anyone else?
Sure, I think faith, it kind of, what comes to mind to me is surrender. Right, because, yeah, you have doubts about decisions. Sometimes you make a good decision, sometimes you make a bad decision, right? So, posing the question and having faith that the right thing is going to happen, no matter what it is, and having the ability to recognize what happens is the right thing to happen.
Yeah.
So, faith is, a lot of the discussion this morning was about, it's not sensate. You don't feel, you don't touch it, you don't smell it, you don't hear it, but you feel it, right? And that's kind of what intention is, right? I want to have the feeling that, right? And surrendering to that, but holding the intention is really important, right? That guides, if we are creators, intention is what guides creating.
True.
Right, so that's, I think the whole notion of decision, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, right? But at the end of the day, they were the right decisions because I learned something that I should have known or that I needed to know, right? So it's having the faith that, the decisions you make, somebody said it earlier, it's like, maybe it was April, it's neither right nor wrong. But you'll figure it out, right? And sometimes it has momentous consequences, and sometimes it hasn't. It's a nothing, right? But that's all part of just living. Not making a choice is making a choice. If you don't decide to do something, then you're on autopilot. That's we've talked about that a lot today too. So. It's just kind of part of being a human being, which is very difficult at times. That's been my experience anyhow.
Yeah.
I also think when we make choices, we have to discern whether the choice is something that you honestly believe or want, or is it somebody else's expectation so that you can belong and be loved and be accepted.
And we also talked about faith. So you've made your decision. How many times, we all get to come back and make our own choices and everything. How many times have we told ourselves, well, we need to have faith in what we've decided, and it still keeps going or feeling wrong? How confident are you guys with being able to say, okay, this isn't looking good, I'm going to make a new choice? So deciding when you need to have faith or when you need to let that go and do something else.
And that's the discernment part, actually knowing what is right for you in the circumstance. And if it's right for you in the circumstance, then at the end of the day, it'll end up being right for all the other players.
Bob?
Well, that old movie, Doc Hollywood, where Michael J. Fox swerves to miss a cow in the road, goes through a fence, and wrecks his prized Porsche. So he has it towed to the shop, and there's a couple of mechanics there looking at it. It looked like a total loss. The mechanic stands back and, I can fix that. He had faith. At the end of the movie, you never knew if he fixed his Porsche because a lot were going on. At the end of the movie, the guy brings the Porsche, the mechanic brings the Porsche up to Doc Hollywood, and it's like brand new. And it was like a miracle. Same way with us picking out a house or this facility here. When we first looked at it, like, oh boy. But then you think back, we can fix that, you gotta have faith in yourself. And that's what we're still working on our to-do list, because we know you never have a perfect place, but as long as you could work at it.
Well, that to me speaks of faith and perseverance.
Yeah.
In the face of something that looked kind of impossible,
Mm-hmm.
it became possible.
Yeah.
Me? I think that what he just said made me remember that in order for anything to be possible, there has to be imagination. Without
Yes.
imagination, there is no seed of possibility. We can look at a circumstance and go, there's no possible way. Or you can imagine, maybe it is. And if you have that space of opportunity and imagination, then you can make decisions having faith that the end result will be what it is. And sometimes you can get to the end result a million different ways, and you keep trying different things and still get there. But along the way, you've had to adjust several times. Sometimes we go out and we decide we're gonna build like a little shelter out in the woods with the kids or whatever. And okay, we wanna make a lean-to. Okay, well, the point of it is we wanna end up with a structure. So we have the first idea, we wanna make the lean-to. I can't find enough poles, I can't saw this, I can't, okay, that lean-to is out, let's make a teepee, here we go. And then you're still in the end, we get a structure in the end.
Right.
But along the way, and then you could spend all day beating your head against the original idea, having no more imagination. But if you can see the possibility and change with it, you can still accomplish the end result. But you have to see it first.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
And willing to be flexible in the outcome of what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, has anybody in here ever felt like you have to make a decision because that's what's expected? And then you have to stay with that decision because you're stubborn? Well, not me, you know.
But that's an expectation.
There's stubborn and then there's
Hmm?
determined. Stubborn and determined, I think we get mixed up a little bit.
Uh-huh,
Stubborn
Yeah.
is unmovable, determined is I'll find a way.
right, right.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I think it's always when I'm looking at something, what I want to do or how it's going to go, I always have a plan B and even a C sometimes. So you have to be a little bit flexible when you make those plans. Instead of getting, tunnel vision, it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Like they say, if you wanna make God laugh, just tell her your plans.
Yeah.
Well, I chatted with a priest one time and we were talking and he says, there's nothing wrong with making plans or having a goal. He says, you just have to leave room for God. So I think that also might mean leave room for the imagination, leave room for the curiosity, leave room that there's more than one way to accomplish something. And if that's something that you really wanted is supposed to happen, it will, however long it takes, but it will come to fruition. But you have to leave room for the unexpected.
I think, yeah, and the other thing, how many times do we hear inside that it's time to make a different choice? And do we?
And why don't we?
There's that one too. Okay?
I think you need to put a little bit of, a dash of love in, when you have an intention. You use a little bit of love and it's easier to be flexible, more flexible. And the love is essentially to yourself for not having to be perfect. And that little bit of love just adds lubrication to the whole idea. And your goal is, I think, much more easily found. If you have to jag your path a little bit, it's your ability to love your humanity, your own humanity, that allows those choices to be customized.
I think too, also, sometimes it comes down to you need to be willing to trust the other person or persons involved.
Well,
You know
that
that-
also takes love, you know,
Yeah.
that, I often think that's very important. Tr- Trust is hugely important, especially when you're dealing with other people. And yourself, for example. I was working last night. It was, I had to wait for the rain to stop before I did some things, and it was getting dark. And I knew I was challenging myself, but I met that challenge, and I got what I needed to get done before it got too dark. And so that challenge was part of it. But I had faith in myself that I could do it, and I did.
That's awesome. Okay. Just want to have one more quote here. Carolyn Miss says, "Many times I have wished that I could convince others to have faith in this immeasurable, invisible force that surrounds and protects us. I feel profound bliss knowing that even in the direst of times, our prayers are heard and answered. I have seen and experienced too many miracles to believe otherwise. Like you, I have had to move mountains in my personal and professional life. Whenever I am striving mightily on my own, pushing and getting nowhere, I usually realize that it's time to step back and remember that if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to you under place, and it shall remove. Sometimes what we need to do is we need to stop and ask Spirit, what is my next step? And then we need to listen for the answer. Because God doesn't always whisper in your ear and say, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I know it does. But sometimes the voice is a little bit quieter. So what do you think of the Louise Hay comment? Have you guys found that if you pray, a different choice comes up that you hadn't thought about?
Always.
It's lots of fun when it works that way.
And then be willing to act on it.
Yeah. Well, I think, too, we go back to this illusion that we actually are in control of things when we know that it's God who's in control. And if we step back and let God take care, and I'm talking about knowing that I'm supported from and loved from the inside out. But if I step back into that, the mountain moves itself without me having to bother with it. So all of a sudden it's free rollers. So, is there anything else that wants to be said right now?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up the word intuition. I think we all have the capacity to varying degrees, but I think that in order for that intuition to work, we need to trust that it will. And then from that comes the faith that then carries it through.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Okay. Please join me in a prayer that was written by Reverend Marcy Sharameda. And sometimes I like to bring in prayers from someone else. It's a prayer for gratitude. As the dawn breaks on a new year, let us give thanks for all we hold dear, our health, our family, and our friends. Let us release our grudges, our anger, and our pains, for these are nothing but binding chains. Let us live each day in the most loving ways, the God-conscious ways. Let us serve all who are in need, regardless of race, color, or creed. Let us help God of our own understanding in our hearts. Let us keep God of our own understanding in our hearts and to chant God's name each day. Let us lead the world from darkness to light, from falsehood to truth, and from wrong to right. Let us remember that we are all one, embracing all, discriminating against none. May your year be filled with peace, prosperity, and love. May God's blessings shower upon you and bestow upon each of you a bright, healthy, and peaceful new year. Amen. And so it is. I invite you to join in the celebration of the work that we do in the world by sharing of your financial goods, should you choose to do so. If you're at home, you can go to that beautiful website, mysticheart.org, to use our donate button or to find our mailing address. We also have a gracious giving program for those who would like to make a heartfelt monthly commitment to support us so that we can more effectively budget and plan for our growth.
Let there be peace, peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. If I had one wish on my Christmas list, it wouldn't be for presents under my tree. There will be no more tears for
in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you. Let joy renew you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you until we meet again. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you. Thank you for being here this morning. We love you.